What is going on, guys? Cole aka Proximitty here, bringing a brand new video today. I'm doing another tip video. This one is going to be how to play aggressive with a squad. Now, this is specifically how to play aggressive with a squad. I plan to do more squad tips, but this one I just want to talk about how to keep your aggression up, and if you want to try to win games with a good amount of kills, or you don't even have to get a lot of kills, but if you want to play really aggressive, you want to keep your style with your team to make sure you're keeping people on their heels, pushing up, being aggressive on the other team. I'm going to stop saying aggressive over and over. I'm going to basically break down what I believe is a really good way to do it, and how, like, when I run with a group of people, how we like to do it. I was playing today with some of my friends, Corpsic, Reclaimer, and Dave Waddles, and we had a pretty good gameplay that really showcased a lot of aggression, so I wanted to highlight that and kind of explain why some of the things were going the way they were. Right here off the rip, you can see I'm kind of just, having sloppy shots because I'm terrible with iron sights. But this is an early game in Pachinki, so right now, this is just me kind of being aggressive as it is. I knew there's a team pushing us, so I wanted to just kind of, I had an M4 early, which is a super, super good gun, and I also had a helmet and body armor already. So, I was pretty set in the sense that I could play aggressively. So that's exactly what I was doing. This isn't really anything. That was my dog making a lot of noise in the background. I apologize. That really wasn't anything that, she's still doing it. You have to break down with a team. This isn't anything like, team composition wise. This is just me being aggressive. You can play like this. You don't have to. But I do have some more good examples of us like breaking buildings and stuff and how we work off each other that I thought would be really good to share. So let's get into those. Something I do want to quickly address: when you're playing aggressive, I feel like the reaction from a lot of people is going to be to finish off kills the moment you've downed people. And I just want to say that when you're playing with a squad, specifically when you're playing squads and duos, obviously that's the only time people get knocked and not insta-killed, because in solos they just die. But you need to take into consideration when you're killing people, why you're doing that. I wouldn't really recommend finishing people off just because you have them downed all the time, because all that's going to do, if you're playing against a team before and it's a 4v4 and you've knocked one of them and you immediately finish them, that is just going to inspire the other team to do that right back to you. And the reason why that's a problem is because if you want to play with your whole team, your whole group of friends, and you don't want one of them to have to just sit there and spectate, don't give the other team a reason to do that. A lot of teams won't do it unless you do it to them. And it's not just an honor system thing. There are some instances of when you should, and that would be whenever the person that's down can give a lot of information, meaning that he might be stuck in a corner in a room and he can call out exactly what you're doing to his teammates. In that case, I like to finish them off. Also, if I need more ammo or guns, or if one of my teammates does, run up and punch him to death. But just think about why you're doing it. I just want to mention that quickly. Okay, let's get into the aggressive stuff. So one of the first things I want to talk about is making sure that when you drop somewhere, like Pachinki, for example, that none of you guys split up. You don't want to split up too far. You can notice down there in the map in the bottom right, we're pretty close together. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be on top of each other the whole time, because everybody needs to go get their own loot, but you do need to be within range to help people when they need to. See right here, my buddy Clay, a Reclaimer, needed help. He was in a fight. I was right here across the street. I was able to run in, help him out. I ended up accidentally jumping here because I panicked a little bit, and I was able to end up killing this guy, thankfully. I got a little excited, you can see in the webcam there, because after I thought I was crouched, and when I hit A, I was trying to just stand back up, and I accidentally jumped, and I somehow ended up getting that kill anyways, so I got excited. But that's why it's important to not spread out too much to where you can't help people out, you can't get to each other. You need to be able to be there to respond to somebody else's call out. So that's just an obvious thing, but it is something to think about in case you're not doing that, or making sure that you're aware of where your teammates are so you can come help them. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of having designated roles with your team. Now, this doesn't mean, I want to be very clear here, you don't have to play that every time you play squads, you have to have, you're only allowed to do this because you have this role and you're not allowed to switch it up. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying for the way that we like to play, it really does make sense that some people kind of have a set role. And I have 4 roles because there's 4 teammates, but basically you want to have somebody that's an entry fragger, and what that means, it's a common term, really common in like Counter-Strike, where if you're trying to break a bomb site, you need somebody that's going to go in first, and essentially that person's going to go in and get the first pick. Now, they have a hard job because they have to fly in, and if people are holding doorways or holding a building, you have to be the person to kind of break that setup, make some noise, get a pick, make some commotion. That was the role that I was playing in this game. I was kind of doing the entry fragger role, where basically, I had to go into buildings, and I was the first one going in, trying to get kills. The next role is going to be, you have a support player, and really what that person's kind of doing is helping the entry fragger. He's kind of the next person in line to go in, and basically what he's there for is to help clear corners that the entry fragger doesn't, and he's right behind him. He's 2 steps behind him. So you can play really fast, the first person going in, and the second person's there to either get trades. So if the first person gets knocked, the second person's immediately there to hopefully finish off that kill. And to, again, if somebody was hiding in a corner, the entry fragger didn't check, and he starts shooting in the back, he's right there behind him. The next person is going to be a flex, and what that kind of does is they're kind of feeling out the situation. They can go into the building, they can stay on the outside and watch people kind of, maybe jump out of windows or something, which goes into the last person, which is the lurker. And the lurker, these are just whatever terms. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. But basically, that person's going to kind of sit back, feel out the situation again, watch the flank. Depending on the situation, it's always varying. That person might be watching if people are going to jump out of the windows and stuff. But the flex person kind of has the option. Does he want to go in? Does he want to stay back? He gets to feel that situation out. So you have the support person who follows the entry fragger, of course, the lurker who kind of sits back and is like last in line, and then you have, the flex player. I hope that all makes sense. In this game, I was playing entry fragger, Reclaimer was playing support, Corpsic was playing the lurker, and Daywaddles was playing the flex. And this worked out really well for us. We broke multiple buildings, and it worked every time. This was a super good gameplay to showcase a lot of this. Things worked for us. Now, of course, it's not always going to work, but it's good to have some structure there. And the reason why that's important is because if everybody wants to play entry fragger, it might not work because everybody's trying to cram into the same doors. It gets panicked. It's no organization, especially now in the game with the clamber mechanic so people can jump out of windows. It's important that you are watching that. You don't want to all run in the bottom floor and then have 2 of the enemy team jump out of the windows behind you guys, and now you're getting flanked. So you want to have some structure. You want to have some people designated to certain roles so everybody's on the same page. And if you want to talk about this with your friends beforehand, that's good, great. We just kind of have a natural, we've been playing with each other for a long time, so we just kind of have this natural chemistry where we all kind of do this automatically, and that'll happen if you play with the same group of people a lot. So this next play is a good example of what I was doing as an entry fragger. I actually want to take this first gunfight and talk for a second about being unpredictable. I tried to get this nade off, it ended up not working. He didn't push up, but you can notice I have the extended mag on, so I decided to start shooting. He backed down, but I just kept shooting. And as you notice, he peeked right into it. Being unpredictable is important. That guy thought I was going to stop shooting because he gave up his angle, but I just kept shooting. Now you notice instead of running through that middle alley, I immediately ran over to the left here. There's Tyler back there lurking. He's on the long range stuff, kind of getting those longer range shots. Another roll of the lurker. I just pulled a quick flank. They didn't know where I was coming from. They probably thought I was going to run in between the 2 houses there to my right. I decided not to. And now I'm looking around quickly checking corners. I end up spotting the last guy inside the warehouse. Getting an easy kill. Got all 3 of them. That's a whole team wiped really fast. And you can see my other teammates were just around, just playing kind of support. I ended up, fortunately, getting those picks really quick. And I was healing using the main menu. I'm not exactly sure why. We're not going to worry about that. I ended up getting some good loot here. We move on. We end up finding ourselves at this compound, and we get pushed by a vehicle on this compound. Now, this ends up being a bit of a strange situation. 2 vehicles roll up. So this one, we just wanted to keep up the aggression. We thankfully got a pick on one of them when they were still in the cars. And this is something I want to talk about, that you want to make sure you're keeping up the aggression when you have the advantage. Whether that means that you've put down damage on the other team, or especially if you've picked one of them. If one of them is knocked, you now have a 4v3 at least advantage, unless, if they're a team of 3, then it's 4v2. So you want to make sure you are capitalizing on that. You want to make sure that you are playing super aggressive there. You obviously have the advantage. You have more numbers. The math is there. But even if you didn't get a pick, if you put down a lot of damage on the other team, this is another instance of when I feel it's super important to keep that aggression up. In this case right here, we had 3 of them knocked. We couldn't quite find the last guy, but you can see we were all looking around. We were all checking different corners. We're all communicating as we're playing. Communication is obviously key. Keeping the momentum in your favor. We ended up finding the last guy. We got the kills. We got him. Good stuff. And we all went and looted or on boxes. You can see in the bottom of the mini map there, we're all going different directions, looting boxes. And that's just based on the communication. I said, I'm going to go loot the guy that I knocked, yada, yada. Just keep making sure you're talking to each other. But again, I want to emphasize, if you've put damage down on another team, don't give them a chance to heal up. Don't give them a chance to get their shit together. They're going to be panicked. They're going to be worried because they're weak. That is when you need to strike. Now, this situation is one I want to talk about a lot, and this is showing the importance of when you raid a house, all the roles that I talked about. First off, I want to say, make sure you're using frag grenades. Pick them up. If you're not, you're making a mistake, because right here, we knew people were in this house. We saw people out on the garage. I was waiting for my teammates to get a little closer as they, were a little bit behind from looting and stuff. So make sure you're, first of all, analyzing where your teammates are. I know 2 of them are on top of me. Tyler is the lurker, so he's a little bit behind. He's got an SKS with a 4X. He's playing range on purpose. Right here, I'm just trying to get picks with nades. I'm throwing nades in all the windows, and you can see my teammates are around surrounding the house, watching the windows. We get a knock on the outside right here, and then I get a knock with a nade. So now it's a 4v2 situation. I'm definitely going to get aggressive. Here's where the entry fragger comes in. I push in. There's one right there. I end up getting him. And then I immediately keep the aggression up. You see that? I get the knock, and I'm immediately pushing through the house. Clay is right behind me, as I mentioned. He's the support player. Here he is. I end up not finding this guy. He ended up being just outside here, and then Tyler was able to pick him up. I never actually saw this guy. He was just scrambling out. But this is where the lurker was important. You see, Jesse had made the call as the flex player to go and push in with us. And then Tyler was out there waiting for the guy. The last guy was trying to slip away, and that's where the lurker came in. We got all 4 clean. None of us went down. Super, super clean plays. And that's just a really good example. I had my teammate right behind me in case I got down. We were able to trade. Thankfully, I didn't, but we were set. We were right there. It was perfect execution. And we were able to keep that aggression up while we had the advantage. We had 2 knocks, didn't let it give him any breathing room, and we just kept pushing him. Coming into the later zones here, we knew people were going to be in this mansion area. Obviously, as you can see, the zone's small, but these are the only buildings. So, again, I'm playing entry fragger role. I'm the first person in the mansion compound. I'm checking buildings, looking around, and I end up noticing these 2 people in the bottom of that garage house over there. I put some blood on it. You can see I get bloods. Not the best shots in the world, but that's fully auto at that range. Not easy to do. But I got some weakness on them. They're weak. So, we start getting aggressive. They ran into this big building. Now, I quickly want to talk about this play right here. You can see Tyler is now wrapped around. He's playing lurking again. You can see in the bottom, he's distant. Right here, I call out the guy over there, and Tyler immediately has shots. That's why lurker is important. You want somebody that's playing distance with a long-range weapon. It's really, really good. Right here, I want to point out the communication I had with Clay. I'm just going to let this clip roll. One ran upstairs. He ran upstairs. People on top of the garage. People on top of the garage. Yep. I lit him. Nice, Tyler. Good shots. I'm chasing this guy upstairs real quick. Cautiously. I'm not pushing too hard.
I'm
coming with me, Clay? All right, yeah.
I'm staying downstairs. Did he go all the way up?
Yeah, he's up. He's super weak. I knocked him. Clay, you gotta cover me. I'm healing.
Yeah, another guy right here, same spot. Hell weak, dude.
Hold on, I'm about to be healed.
Yes. I gotta reload.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? To the left or what?
Yeah, to the left.
Alright, I'm flying at him. Got him. So right there, you can see how well that worked, having that support player on my back. I got super weak. I made sure, I even said to Clay, you could hear me. Clay, you're with me. I get the shots. I knocked the one guy. I'm weak. I back down. I'm healing. And I didn't even have to run away to heal. I knew Clay was there, so I backed right down. He was able to keep the pressure on, not let that guy push up on me. I got my heal off. We pushed in. We got the last kill. I mean, right there, super clean push. That's that super nice teamwork. And that all came from the fact that we got them slightly weak while they were still in the garage. We kept up the aggression. We kept pushing. And that is how you're going to do well with aggressive playstyle. You just want to make sure you capitalize on your own advantages, not letting people, not letting people get their health back and stuff. Just capitalizing, being unpredictable, making sure that you are keeping the ball in your court, which essentially just, keeping those guys on their heels. Now here at the end, you can even see us getting more aggressive. We do end up taking this game. We catch these guys out in the fields. We know that where the last 2 guys are. We know the general area at least. As you can see, I'm just spamming nades at this point because I know they're around. But I'm keeping up the aggression. And even here, the flex player, you can see Day Waddles, he's just rushing in because we know exactly where they are. We have range on them. There's nowhere for them to go. We just kept up the aggression. We got the easy win. So that is a super good win for us. I think we ended up getting, I want to say it was like 25 kills total. I'm not exactly sure. But it was 20 plus kills. I'll tell you that much. Because I know Tyler got 7 and I had 13. So that's at least 20, whatever everybody else had. I don't know. But I hope this helped you guys out. Having your roles in mind is important. That doesn't mean you have to be super like, I'm the only person that's allowed to rush a building because I'm the entry fragger. But it does mean that if you have somebody designated, it's going to help people out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If you learned something awesome, please let me know what you found helpful. If you have ideas for what you'd like me to cover in a future tip video, please let me know. I will be happy to do so. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take it easy, guys. Much love.